Good morning and welcome to Wendy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, March 24th, and we are joined in studio with Kelley Dixon, a Hebrew Home resident. Welcome, Kelley.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me today. Kelley is here today because we're getting very close to the start of the baseball season, and who else could I talk about baseball with but Kelley? So I invited Kelley, so thank you for making time to be here, and we'll get into it soon. But first, let's cover some of the news of the day. Feel free to chime in as much as you'd like, Kelley. Today's weather, it's going to start to rain this afternoon, they say. It's going to be a high of 54. Did you get outside during the beautiful weather that we had this last weekend?
Yeah, I loved it.
So great, wasn't it?
I was out all day yesterday, all day.
It's such a nice time of the year.
Yeah.
You know, it's finally warming up, and it's just, can't get enough of that sunshine. So it's a little dreary today, but I think tomorrow is actually supposed to be back to being sunny again. So hope everyone gets out at least tomorrow. For our meals today, for lunch, we are serving on the non-kosher menu chicken salsa verde with cilantro and lime rice and mandarin oranges. And on the kosher menu, we're serving black bean soup with penne alla vodka and sauteed spinach with apricots for dessert. And for dinner, on the non-kosher menu, we're serving cream of spinach soup with French toast, baked apple slices, and apricots for dessert. And on the kosher menu, we are serving meatballs with Israeli couscous and steamed carrots with mandarin oranges for dessert. We have just one resident here celebrating a birthday today. That's Edward W. And on our staff, we have a few. We've got Christina from finance, and we have Ernest from nursing. Today was actually Harry Houdini's birthday, as well as Steve McQueen. If you're celebrating a birthday, your horoscope says a Mars-Mercury link on your birthday will sharpen both your mind and your tongue, but you will need to exercise a good deal of self-restraint if you don't want to turn people against you. You don't have to bark at everyone like a sergeant major. That's good advice, right? You do a lot more with kindness, and there's an expression, I think, that you get a lot further with kindness, basically, which is definitely a good rule of thumb. So, as everyone you might know, opening day is around the corner. The Mets opener is against the Miami Marlins, and that's on April 8th. And the Yankees will play the Blue Jays on April 1st. So Governor Cuomo has said that the teams can have 20% capacity. So that is 10,850 people in the stadium for the Yankees, and 8,492 fans at Citi Field for the Mets. So how do you feel, Kelley, about the stadiums filling up to 20% capacity? What do you think about that?
I wish it could be more, but I understand why they're doing it like this, you know?
Right.
There's safety measures.
Right.
Think about last year. There were no fans, so.
Right. So a little bit is better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're still going to, you know how some of the stadiums put those paper cutouts of people? I wonder if do they still do that when they have,
yeah.
So they have a little bit of real people and a little bit of cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the two home teams. Let me ask you a question. Of the Mets and the Yankees, which do you lean towards more in terms of which do you like to follow more?
Well, to be honest with you, I like the Yankees, but I think the Mets have just as much of a chance to win as the Yankees. Really, you know.
Really? And why is that?
I think the pitching staffs are about equal, and the Mets picked up a couple of people that are really good, and the Yankees, I'm not sold on this kid, Gleyber Torres.
Okay.
He's really a second baseman.
Yes.
And they put him at shortstop. And he didn't look good at shortstop last year.
Okay.
And they didn't do anything about that. And they're putting him out there again. They're giving him a second chance.
Okay.
I think it's a mistake.
Now, what about the new owner of the Mets? What do you think about any changes that he's implemented? What do you think about that?
I think that he's more talk than action, because there were a couple of players that another 5 million, maybe 10 million, he could have had these top shelf players, which would have made the Mets even better. But he refused, and we're talking about $150 million. He only went up to $140 million. And a difference in that 10 million might cost them in the long run. You know, they could have had this player who's worth the money.
Right.
And this is the limit.
Right, and that was it.
Yeah, and they could have had him. And they could have had that pitcher that's a little weird, Bauer. He went with the Dodgers.
Okay.
He could have had him too. And it was all about money.
Right.
And this guy has $13 billion.
Wow.
So it shouldn't have been about money. It should have been about signing that guy, making your team better. That's what he said he was going to do.
So
but he didn't do it.
So let's talk about the Yankees a little bit. Who do you think we're going to see pitching on opening day? Do you think that'll be Garrett Cole? And if
yes.
You do?
Yeah, he's the best in the business.
What's his story? Because I'm actually not familiar with him. Has he been with the Yankees a long time?
He was with them last year, but remember, it was only a 60-game season.
Okay.
This will be his first full year. But he's the best. He's the best he's the best of all the. He's just the best.
Really?
There's nobody better than him.
And where did he come from? Who was he playing for before?
Well, he started with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
They traded him. It was stupid. They traded him to the Houston Astros.
Okay.
And you know, the Astros got hung up with that cheating scandal.
Yes, yes.
So he left the Astros, and because of the cheating scandal, the Yankees got him.
Oh, okay.
So they lucked out.
Okay. And does he have like a secret weapon? Is he known for his curveball, fastball?
All of them.
Everything. Wow. Okay.
He throws 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
He's got a curveball that falls off the table. You know, and he's got a slider. He's got all the pitches. And he throws so hard. Right. And he controls every pitch.
Wow. Wow.
So.
Okay, he's the one to watch.
And he got 324 million.
Really?
That's what they paid him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a paycheck.
What?
That's quite a paycheck, right?
Oh, yes. 324 million? That's a lot of money.
Wow. Oh, my.
He's worth it. He is.
Okay. All right. We'll check him out. Now, what about Gary Sanchez? He, I think, is going to be the starting catcher. Now, he had a frustrating 2020 season, but he's vowed he will be a different player in 2021. What do you think about that?
I believe him. Simply because you can't be any worse than what he was last year.
Really?
He was that bad.
Why was he so bad last season? What happened?
It's like everything that could have, what's that, Murphy's Law?
Yep.
It happened to him. He can't be that bad, so they got to give him another chance.
Okay. Has he been with the team a long time, or was he new?
Yeah, about 6 years.
So prior to last year, he had a good streak. And
he's a very dangerous hitter. He hit over 30 home runs a couple of times.
Wow. Okay.
So I think they're smart by giving him another chance. Okay. So I like the idea.
Okay. Now, what about Luke Voigt? He's at first base. He's become a fan favorite and one of the club's leaders. What do you think about him?
I don't know. There's something about him that I hope I'm wrong. You know, I like to think I recognize talent. And last year was a 60-game season, and he had 20 home runs. Well, this is a 162 game season.
Yep.
So I want to see him. I want to see him duplicate what he did in a shortened season over a real season. If he does that, maybe I'll change my mind.
Okay. Now let's talk about the Mets a little bit. Their home opener pitcher is TBD. They have not announced that, but do you think
It's going to be DeGrom?
It'll be Jacob DeGrom. Okay.
No doubt.
Now he seems to be quite popular, and everybody loves him. What's the secret to his success?
Because next to Cole, he's the best pitcher in the sport. Really, it's between Cole and him. Who's better?
Okay.
But I think Cole is just a little better.
And where is he at in his career in terms of longevity? How much more do you think he's got?
I think he has, let's see, he's 32. I think he's got a good 7 years. And if he does that, he'll go into the Hall of Fame.
And you think he's going to stick with the Mets?
Do I think he's? Yeah, I like him. I think, like I said, there's only one, maybe one pitcher better than he is.
Okay.
He's that good.
Wow. Okay.
Like the Cy Young Award, which is given to the best pitcher for that particular year,
Yep.
he won 2 in a row.
Wow.
And he would have won last year, except they had the shortened season.
Right, right, which messed everything up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it did. And I think he's going to win it again this year, which would guarantee him
Hall of Fame.
to get into the Hall of Fame.
How many other players have gotten 3 in a year in a row? That's pretty rare, isn't it?
Well, there's not too many that got 3 in a row, maybe 3, 4.
Right,
But there's a few that got 3 total, but not many.
right.
But the guys that got 3, they're in there. They're in the Hall of Fame. You know, if you can do that,
Right.
it's like a ticket already made out.
Have you ever seen him had an off game, or is he consistently strong?
Very rarely you see him with an off game. If he loses a game, it's like 3-2. You mean like he doesn't get rocked like
Right.
14-0. You know,
Right, right.
he's too good.
He's the real deal.
The average pitcher gives up 4 runs a game. The 2 seasons that he won the Cy Young Award, he was giving up less than 2 runs a game. So that shows you a difference in him and the rest of the league, you know.
Right, right, right. Now, it seems that injuries are playing an increasing role in their roster decisions.
Yes.
Carlos Carrasco's torn right hamstring has knocked him out of opening day contention, changing the look of the Mets rotation. So finding the right catcher is a priority for them.
Yeah.
They acted early on a 4-year, $40.6 million contract for James McCann. So what do you think? Is he worth the money, and what are your expectations on him?
McCann he's okay. You know, he's not a world beater. But they should have gotten this guy, J.T. Realmuto. And the only reason they didn't get him is because they didn't want to spend the money.
Okay, coming back to money again.
Yeah,
Okay.
but he's top tier. He's the best catcher.
Where does he play?
Philadelphia.
Okay.
And they had a chance to get him. And I think he was like $10 million more than Cone wanted to spend.
Got it.
So they didn't get him because of the money. It might come back to bite them in the butt, you know, because he's head and shoulders when it comes to catching, you know.
Right.
So we'll see if McCann, I don't know.
Okay. Jury is still out on him, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about Pete Alonso at first base? What are your thoughts about him?
The ideal situation would be if Major League Baseball would bring back the designated hitter, which during the shortened season, designated hitter was used in both leagues. Now, up to this point, they're only going to use it in the American League. If they do it like that and there's no designated hitter in the National League, then that means Alonso will have to play first base. And the real first baseman will have to play left field. And that's not their strongest setup. The ideal thing would be the designated hitter in both leagues. Alonso could be the designated hitter, and the real first baseman could play first base.
Okay.
Then they would have a super team. So I don't know why the leagues are screwing the Mets.
Well, is that up for discussion with the league? Is that a chance that things will get moved around with the designated hitter, or it's the rule is the rule now?
I don't know who's preventing it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
All I know is the powers that be.
Right.
They didn't announce why and whether they're going to bring it in before the season. They left people in the dark, But if it stays like it is, it hurts the Mets. Because they can't put their team out there the way it should be. Okay. It weakens them, Okay. You got a first baseman playing left field.
Right.
And you got a designated hitter, because what's his name? He can hit, Alonso.
Yep.
And then, I don't know.
Could hurt them.
Yeah.
Now, they say that Francisco Lindor, the Mets shortstop, is one of the most significant reasons for optimism in Flushing these days. So what do you think about him?
Yeah, and that's true, 100% true. He's, in my opinion, I think he's the best shortstop in Major League Baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes him so great?
He can field better than anybody else. He can hit better than anybody else. And he makes those significant plays. You might not see it in a box score, but when a play has to be made, somehow he always shows up making it. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a clutch hitter. When the Mets, like last week, in my opinion, he was making them. He was having an okay spring. Then a few days later, I was watching a Mets game, and it was like poof. He had 4 home runs, 3 doubles.
Really?
And he was making outstanding plays in the field. So it was like he ratcheted it up. It was, oh well, it's time to get serious,
Right.
And he did.
Wow.
He's the best. He's the best.
So who would you say is, if you have like a favorite player on either team, well, who would be your favorite, if you have, who would be a favorite player?
I hate to do this to you, Yankees.
Uh-oh.
But it would probably be Lindor.
Okay.
Because I followed his career when he was in Cleveland. So he's been great over a period of time, Plus he's fun to watch,
Right.
They call him Mr. Smiley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Does he smile a lot?
And he has like a smile that lights up the room. Aww. You know what I mean? And it's always there, And he's good. And he said it. I'm the best, And he goes out and proves it.
Wow.
Okay,
so he's your favorite.
Yeah, he's on the Yankees. I don't, there's like Judge, Stanton.
Right.
I like that kid. They finally put him in left field, Clint Frazier.
Okay.
It's about time. He earned his way like 3-4 years ago, and I don't know why they screwed him. I like him. He got a lot of confidence too.
Sounds like both teams have a good roster and a good number of solid players.
Yeah, I'll be in front of my TV a lot.
So we're going to wind up our chat, but very important question. When you did go to the stadiums back in the day, did you have favorite snacks? Did you go to eat Cracker Jacks, hot dogs, pretzels, popcorn?
Popcorn. And I went to the stand And can I get a bag of popcorn? And she said $11. I said, I ordered a bag of popcorn. And she said, $11.
Oh, my.
And I wound up, they gave me $11 worth.
Okay.
But I wound up bringing it home,
Yeah.
and I still had popcorn like 2-3 days later.
You wanted to make sure you got your money's worth, that you didn't let anything.
Yeah. But I love popcorn, but I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, it's like when they give you a bottle of water and it's like $5.
Yeah,
It's
and maybe it's 14 now. The beers were $14
oh my, that's
for
crazy.
What is it, a 8-ounce or 12-ounce can of beer?
Right, 14 bucks.
14, and that's not last year. That was the year before. Imagine what it is now.
Crazy.
It's about $20 a can.
Oh my God. What are you going to do, right? The price of going to
Pay
watch the game.
$20.
Exactly, exactly. All right, well, Kelley, thank you so much for chatting baseball. Looking forward to seeing what the season brings and hearing more of your feedback about the team. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it,
All right, let's wrap up.
So I push this button?
Well, not yet. Not
Oh.
yet. Before we... Oh, that's me. I don't know how to... Okay, sorry, guys. Before we close today's show, we'll just share about some programming notes. We've got, coming up, Jewish Ethics with Rabbi Noah. That's at 11:15. We have Wellness with Deborah at 1:30. We've got Larry coming up at 2:30. And Kelley, if you want to watch yourself again, you can watch tonight at 6:30 on Channel 88, and you can watch the entire show and see how you did.
Channel 8?
Channel 88.
Oh, 88.
88
okay.
at 6:30. So make sure to tune in, okay?
Yeah, I think I'll take another look.
All right, thanks. Thank you to Allison for working the camera. Thank you again to Kelley for being here. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, I can push this.